Good morning, Cosmic Compass Conversations for the Taurus new moon. Okay, how many times do we need to start? Well, we need to start a few times because that is how it is right now. Thank you for letting me know. I had a feeling because I recognize the name, so not to worry. Um, all right, here we go. Welcome, and we're going to breathe. That is where we're going to start. And then we're going to pull some cards and then we're going to do some new moon magic together. All right. So if it's comfortable for you, if you can, taking a moment to just center, where am I? Who am I? Those kinds of things. Bring your awareness into your body. Uh, Feet on the floor, or if you're sitting on the floor, that's good. Or if you're lying down, that's great too. But just take a moment to bring your energy in. Just take a normal breath, exhaling. And we're going to really connect with the earth before we do our breathing today. So if you're comfortable, just bringing that awareness all the way down your body, all the way down through your body, through the soles of your feet, down into the earth, and feel the earth rising to meet you, feeling that support coming up from the earth. This is a very important part of getting ready for any cosmic event. But a new moon is helpful, and a Taurus new moon really has us connecting with the earth. So feeling your feet, feeling the earth. And if it feels good, you might, if you're outside, great. If you're not, you might imagine what it might feel like to be outside right now, what's around you, what's connected to you. Yeah. All right, breathing in up through the soles of the feet, expanding your belly. And when you're ready, exhaling. And on your next inhale breath, feeling that grounded, supportive energy of the earth rising up through the soles of your feet. Expanding your belly as you breathe. And exhaling when you're ready. And again, bringing your awareness to your feet, to the earth. Feeling that supportive energy rising up through the soles of the feet and really feeling that support that the earth has for us. Feeling that healing energy rising up. And it feels good, allowing that energy to infuse each and every cell of your body with healing, with love, cosmic energy. When you're ready, exhaling. And last breath up through the soles of the feet, expanding your belly. And exhaling. Beautiful. Thank you all for joining me. It's always good to be here with you. As we enter into today, we are present with balsamic phase of the moon. And the balsamic phase of the moon is a time of releasing, letting go, taking your time with preparing for what tomorrow will be. Okay, so this is very exciting for all of us. And regardless of where this new moon is in your chart, you can definitely be part of the magic of the Taurus energy. Everybody has Taurus energy in their chart. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, I wanted to pull some cards for the week, and I'll ask, our guides to support us by giving us ideas of how we can prepare for the Taurus new moon. So that will be the first card. How we can be with the Taurus new moon tomorrow or Wednesday, depending on where you live. That'll be the second card. And then the third card will be anything we need to take with us into the week. All right, so preparation, during, and anything else we need to know. All right, here we go. First card is preparation. Okay, so now this doesn't surprise me. Again, as always, I'm going to allow you to just deepen into the image. As soon as what comes into clarity here, deepen into that image, and anything that comes up for you personally is perfect, right? Anything that comes up for you personally is perfect. No right or wrongs here. What do you see? What do you notice? What do you feel? One of the things I love about doing this is I can hone in on a few little details that I can't always see, even with my glasses. So when we have it on the screen, little details, just take in and generally just take in the entire feeling. I will give you a little hint that wands is life force energy, creative energy. There's a lot of movement, obviously, in wands. Okay. All right. So that's our first one. And that's how to prepare. And I will come back in a minute and kind of talk about that generally. But I want you to have time to really take that in for yourself. Okay. Now, next we are going to just draw a card, pull a card for how to be with tomorrow's Taurus new moon or Wednesday, depending on where you are. Interesting. We pull this one a lot, and I know it's gonna, and it has some energy to it. So we're gonna go ahead with it. I don't ever put them back. This one is the Seven of Swords. Again, you just take your time with what you feel. I mean, this happens to be a full moon card, but we asked for the new moon. So maybe we might consider the fact that we are working on something that came up during the last full moon. Okay, so that's a possibility. That's a distinct possibility. Right. And it just feels like yesterday that we had that full moon, but it was almost 2 weeks ago. The moon cycles are really amazing. They do give us an opportunity to track things. So again, just how do you feel? What do you notice? What's catching your attention today? I have things I'll say about this, but I just want you to have time for yourself. Okay. And then anything else we need to know for the week? Well, this is nice. I guess on the other side of all this, there's something that feels even more cheerful. So I'll just pull this out. Again, what do you notice? Cups are emotion. They're the water element. Swords, that was the previous card, is mental and air. So what do you feel? What do you sense? What do you notice? It's catching your eye. I just love these cards. I love the artwork. I mean, this particular artwork, again, you just notice what you need to notice and then we'll get into it. You know how normally I just let you do your thing here and not talk about it, but today I really do want to talk about this. And we'll come back to that. Thank you, cards. All right, so the first one, preparation. You know, Ten of Wands generally there's a lot of energy around the Ten of Wands. In this card, it's pretty solitary. But obviously, there's something that's shifting. She's taking a journey. She's all packed up, ready to go, and she's moving towards her destination. The thing that I noticed today was the cute little look on the face here of her companion, which I don't know if it's going to come into view or not, but there we go. See that cute little face? That's what I saw today. So in terms of preparation, what are you packing up and what are you not taking with you? Right? Pretty straightforward. If life is a journey, which it is, and if this new moon represents a new lunar cycle, which it does, and this does have love and abundance as a part of it, you know, the Taurus new moon means many things, but love and abundance being part of it. What do you need to take with you to receive more of that in your life? And what do you need to let go of in order to receive more of that in your life? Because, I mean, quite plainly, she doesn't want to drag a cart behind her, right? She wants to take what she can with her companion. I'm going to assume she asked her companion. I'm going to assume she asked her companion if it was okay to load this being up with some things. But assuming it's all okay, what are we taking with us? And what are we not taking with us? And again, in a very, Taurus is very material, very earth-oriented sign. But I think on this level, I don't think it, right. I think that it has an energy that is supporting the journey. And I think actually just what was in the chat just there perfectly said, there is consent because there are no ropes. This is what we say at Liberty. Am I right? Am I right? I'm using horse language. Okay. I'm so proud of myself. Okay. So they're traveling along together and only taking what they need or only taking what they want. So yes, material things, but also, as I was saying, there are the things that are very Taurian that can hold us back from receiving or being fully present in our lives. And one of those things is stubbornness. That's a shadow side of Taurus. Another is resistance to something like change. That's a very shadow side of Taurus. So if there's, she does not look resistant and neither does her companion, right? I did not do that on purpose, but thank you to the universe. Well done. Okay. So I think we will say that we're going to take with us only what we want. Any resistances, resentments, remorse, anything like that, we're going to leave behind. Now, one of the best ways to connect with how to leave it behind is to ask, what have I learned from this? What are the lessons I've learned and I can take with me into the next phase? Okay. So what are the lessons I've learned that I can take with me into the next phase? And then we can let go. And I have really feel like I've been in this, deep in this for a week since my birthday, actually. So I feel very strongly that we are being asked to really connect with, how have I changed? How have I healed? How have I evolved? If there are places that I haven't, yay. Let's learn from that. And let's let go of anything that's getting in the way. Okay. Now, this card, oh, wait, to be fair, let's get Chris Ann's take on 10 of Wands. I don't normally do this, but I thought, well, what the heck? I don't have a guest today. We can do this. I will hopefully have guests soon. I have lots of people lined up, but I don't know exactly when everybody's coming in. All right. So let's get Chris Ann from the Light Seers Tarot. This is perfect. Okay. Of course, right? Of course, her affirmation is perfect. You ready? I release my burdens into the ethers, knowing that the universe will help me tend to the essentials. There's a lot of different ways to say that. Put my burdens down, allow someone else to carry them for a while, someone a little bit stronger, bigger, faster. Okay, so I release my burdens into the ethers, knowing that the universe will help me tend to the essentials. One of the things that she says here is this is an opportunity to free yourself from heavy burdens, obligations, and finding yourself close to a successful outcome, having the need to prioritize, and a message to keep going. I like that. And that's all pretty clear. I think we got all that when we were looking at the card, but I love hearing that. If you don't have this deck, I suppose someday I should reach out to her and talk to her, but I would recommend this for anyone who's wanting to study or work with the tarot. Always read the cards first yourself before you get to the booklet, but she's awesome. As you know, I love her. Okay, now tomorrow. This card, every time I pull it, I'm going to be really honest. I kind of go, oh, oh, well, freaked out there. But honestly, it's a good card to represent being present. I would sense a little bit of like an extra super present. And to be aware what is happening. And this time I really was looking at this beautiful crow. Yeah, I'm being honest. I like that. Being honest, being present, being aware, being mindful because it's swords. And I was thinking about this guy here today, the little crow in front, or raven, could be a raven. Messages. Yes, and that's a possibility as well. What messages are coming through? So slow down. Taurus is about going slow, and Saturn is in a direct relationship with this new moon tomorrow and is asking us to set the parameters, set the boundaries, be aware, be present, be listening. There is an energy in this card that suggests looking out for something you don't know. So the Uranus aspect, right? Uranus and Jupiter are not too far from the new moon either. So you can't really prepare for the things you can't prepare for, right? But you can be present with yourself and listen and support the process of that idea of honoring what is now. What is now, right? This feels like a very in the moment card. Yeah, this is a very interesting card. And thank you for all your comments. I love it. There is definitely a shadow, and I hadn't noticed that at all. So thank you. It's a moon shadow, which again, this is a full moon card, but we did ask that it help us prepare for the new moon. So one of the things I'm thinking about for tomorrow with this is that generally speaking, the Taurus new moon it's actually a really sensual moon. It's abundant. There's a lot of love and beauty associated with the Taurus new moon. With this card, I feel like the Saturn energy came in and said, what do you need to be mindful of? What have you learned? Remember, Saturn is the great teacher. So what have you learned? What are you learning? What are you looking out for? And that isn't to say you can, how do I want to say this? You're not trying to avoid anything. So that's important. You're just being aware. What am I being aware of in this moment? I'm used to using my other deck, and so my brain has to think differently. It's kind of like speaking two different languages when I'm using two different decks. I don't know if anybody else has that experience, but the Mother Piece is the deck I've used since I was very young. And when it was developed, which I wasn't that young, but anyway, but the energy of the Seven of Swords in that one is a little bit different. And so again, what am I learning from this, and what is my perspective, right? What is my perspective? Okay, so let's see what Chris Ann has to say. This is fun, little mystery here. I act from a place of love and morality. Okay, if there was ever a Taurus new moon with Saturn, Hello? Morality fits perfectly under Saturn. I act from a place of love and morality, and the universe witnesses my honest intentions. So we did have someone say being honest with yourself. So well done. This is a key phrase that she has here, taking only what's needed, the universe bearing witness to true intentions, being grateful for the resources you have. And that was something I was going to bring up anyway with our new moon magic. And this traditionally, this card is a challenged card, right? Traditionally, what we can take from this, and I really appreciate what she's saying here, is to move forward with the lightness of conscience to guide you. That's very new moon Saturn. So it's not super light and fluffy. Okay, cool. We got it. We know that. We're ready. Well, or we're not, but at least we know. Okay. Now, what else do we need to know for the week? Now, this card, I mean, you know, depending on your perspective, seems like a happy card. I mean, there's a lot you could read into this card, but it does look like preparing for something special, right? Preparing for something special. You could go deeper into that. There is an element of cups that is about emotion, and it is the Knight of Cups. So working with emotional well-being, working with emotional intelligence, that's all a big part of it. And there's a nice little horsey in the background who also has no reins on it, I will just say, for those of you that can see it. Well done. I like it. Okay, so we have a theme here. All right, now the roses mean a lot to me. I like roses. They do symbolize love. And I think kind of the whole thing kind of symbolizes love and celebration of some kind, possibly. So that's my take on it. And as we move, and that might just be my personal take on it, but having an opportunity to, after being very mindful and being very honest and letting go and, you know, not taking the burdens you wanted, you know, all of the serious things with the new moon, being grateful for what we have. There's this element of, I don't know, I just feel like this is a little bit more relaxed after we move through the new moon. Okay, let's just see what Chris-Ann has to say. Thank you, Chris-Ann, out there in the ethers. I'm in touch with my emotions. Okay, thanks, Chris-Ann. A passionate soul, creativity, seeking connection, chivalry. Get ready to take inspiration and run with it, to make art, music, and love, and a veritable masterpiece of your life. Well, that feels very Taurus new moon to me. So if that's what the lunar month has in store for us, that is fabulous. So, all right. Thank you for listening to all of that. One of the things that I would like to do with our new moon energy is to drop in a little bit to a couple of questions that I think are helpful to consider as we prepare. And again, we're in preparation mode. So we've kind of already talked about burdens. What am I taking with me? The essentials. I'd like to add a few more questions, and you don't have to journal with them right now, obviously, but you know, you can jot a few things down if you want to. But Taurus is very much about value. Self-value is really the path of the Taurus energy, but we assign outer value to the Taurian realm. So money and wealth, we assign that to Taurus. We also assign it to Sagittarius in a different way. So, I mean, it's not just Taurus, but there is this element there of the external resources. I think the guidance I was receiving this morning very much aligns with these cards in many ways. And one of them was, how can I value who I already am So how can I value who I already am? Or, you know, my little trick, if you want to say it this way, how is it that I already value, or how is it that I value who I already am or who I am? And how is it that I am grateful for what I do have in my life right now? Now, in astrology, Taurus is I have. Okay, that's the phrase I have. So, working in the realms of abundance and love, the first step is gratitude. It's always gratitude, always. How is it that I am grateful for who I am and what I have? How is it that I value who I am and what I have? How is it that I am in deep appreciation for who I am and what I have? Okay. So the gratitude and appreciation piece is of tremendous value. And I say this coming at this as a Taurus, coming at this from a place of um, knowing what it feels like to be concerned about the um, the outer realms, the finances, relationships, food, housing, shelter, all the things that are the outer things. I understand the things that come up, whether they're out of the blue or they're just kind of consistent, right? The best medicine I know for this, and it's something I have to use myself. So it's not something I'm saying, oh, hey, I've done this and I'm all done. It's something that I'm continually leaning into, is gratitude and appreciation for what is. And believe me, it's not always easy, but I know that it's absolutely vital. We are so blessed, and there are so many who are struggling right now, right? So we can be grateful and deeply appreciative of everything that is in this moment. And I had a wonderful conversation with a friend yesterday, and still desire to have more, and whatever that more is, whether it's more love, more joy, more money, more resources, more connections, more time, right? We can genuinely be grateful and appreciative and still desire to be more engaged in life, right? So it's all good. And I personally have struggled over the years with, is it okay to want more when there is already, the essentials are here? And I will tell you, it's an ongoing reminder to be grateful, appreciative, humble, right? All the things, but also to not give up, which is another message from the cards, right? Not give up, because the visions that we carry, the ideas, the inspirations, all the things that we came here that we would like to generate and share, that's good. That's part of why we're here, right? So if I am here, and I did a ritual with some friends yesterday, all about this. And it really was really, really wonderful to sit back and do a preparation ritual that says, and for all of you that already know this, the Tosha Silver work, Tosha Silver is a fabulous teacher, writer, spiritual. I mean, I don't think she would call herself a spiritual leader, but I think in many ways she is. But this idea of let go what needs to go, let come what needs to come, and let me be grateful for what is, right? It's not always the easiest path, but I know in my heart that it is the best way. And so being able to do a ritual, a letting go, to talk about your fears, to don't hide them, don't push them away. It's good to get that out. I like to use candles. I like to use salt. There are different things that I like to bring in that crystals, you guys don't hear me talk about that too much because that's part of my private life, right? That I don't always share. But there are times, especially for like this particular new moon, where working with ritual is an extraordinary, powerful way to reset and get prepared. And one of the reasons why I don't share a lot is because I don't consider myself an expert. I don't consider myself someone who is like, I'm going to teach you how to do ritual. I can share with you what I do and I can share with you what works for me. But I come from that place of really believing that you know what is right for you. You know what you can do. If being outside in a ring of trees, I mean, that would be ideal, right? Oh, and Allison, I'll read the whole thing to you in a minute. So thank you for that. So again, what you feel is best, where you want to share your fears, where you want to, you just do it in a journal. You can write it down. The challenges of this time are multifold, right? And again, it is part of Saturn in Pisces, okay? Part of Saturn in Pisces is to look at the whole, to look at the collective, to be present with what is in the world, right? And to honor our part in that. Also, to honor the suffering. That's part of the Piscean realm, to honor the suffering. And what does that look like? That is where, again, this takes a lot of soul searching, which is kind of why we do what we do, because our souls came here with a brilliant plan, I have no doubt, that involves healing and light and love, which is very Taurian, right? That love really getting in there. So I know our souls came here to be really fully present with so much love and so much healing. And the world is not always like that. And I just don't think that's a big surprise to anyone. So how can you, how can we support ourselves and the world? How do we do it together? How do we do it in a way that is in alignment with our values? That's very Taurus, right? So again, Taurus does bring up some of these interesting questions. How is it that I am ready to receive? How is it that I am ready to receive and be present with what is? So, there's a lot to look at here. So I can only share what I tend to do. I shared this with my friends yesterday. We had the ritual with each other that, I mean, I just want to make sure everyone in the whole world has a place to sleep and food to eat and safety. Those are like my top things. And it's beyond me why that isn't happening. Like, that to me feels like that should be the easiest thing: safety, food, shelter, right? Essence of being. So how do I work with this energy, knowing that that isn't happening for a lot of people? And it's challenging. So one of the things that I need to remind myself is that we're all a part of this, and that my work, my way of being, your work, your way of being, just being in the world, you can make change just in the smallest of ways. I would like to see everything change and everyone in the world have what they need. Yes, that is true. I would like that. And at the same time, the smallest changes can lead to bigger changes. And, I think one of the ways I learned this, kind of a side note, I don't know, maybe this is too much information about me, but I do want to share this. When I taught school, when I taught young people, I realized that we all have what we need inside. We just need other people or information or experiences to help us unlock the remembering and to add to it so that we can be fully who we are and to live into our purpose and live into our contribution. when I was teaching teenagers in particular, their wisdom is really pure in a lot of ways. And fourth graders, by the way, I worked with fourth graders and fifth graders, all the grades, right? At different times. There's some pure, you see those little memes where the second graders writing about life and you're like, whoa, where did that come from, right? There's a purity in that that tells me we were born with what we were born. We were born to remember. That's probably a title of a song. If it's not, it should be. Anybody songwriter out there, you should write that. We were born to remember who we are. We were born to remember love. We were born to remember how to share with each other. And that to me feels like an undercurrent of a Taurus new moon energy, particularly with the Saturn component and the Jupiter component and the Uranus component all around. Okay. So you're so kind to listen to all my thoughts about this. I do want to read this. I read this at the summit at my workshop last November. This is Tosha Silver's book. It does not come with this beautiful hummingbird sticker. I put that on there because it matched and it made me happy. So, but this book, again, it may not be for everyone, but I love it. And it has taught me to just remember. Okay. So I'm just going to read her Abundance Change Me prayer. That's the title of the prayer. She says, before I read it, she says, this prayer teaches your whole being that you too deserve to receive. And so for those of you that have either were at the Journey On Summit last year or in embodying the year 2024, any of the things I've talked about with the 8-year, it's about balance, but it's also about receiving. That's one of the keys. How can I be ready to receive? And again, kind of like this card, being aware of what stands in my way. And for me, it can be guilt. Okay, so that's another thing, or shame, right? Remorse, regret, resistance, all of it. So what might be getting in my way? So being vigilant with my thoughts and being aware of my emotions and feeling all my emotions, right? All of these things will help me prepare to receive the abundance. And, again, coming back to gratitude, maybe the whole idea of this new moon is to authentically feel gratitude for what I already have, right? So there's lots of options here. Okay. And love is a part of this as well. Okay. Now I'm just going to read this. Again, Tosha Silver. Divine Beloved, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing that you are the unlimited source of all. Let me be an easy, open conduit for your prosperity. Let me trust that all my own needs are always met in amazing ways, and that it's safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, let me feel wildly open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. May I feel worthy to receive in every possible way. Change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so I may carry your light without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go. Let everything that needs to come, come. I am utterly your own. You are me. I am you. We are one. All is well. So if there was ever a Change Me prayer by Tosha Silver that fit with the Taurus new moon in an 8-year, this is the one. Okay. This is the time where this particular spell, okay, the words are a spell, will work. I think magic for all of us. So what I can do is I will put in the follow-up email, I will put the text or actually maybe I'll put a link. I'll put a link to the text in the email. So if you want to read it again, you can. If you do decide to get the book, it's on page 16. So, and there's a lot more in here. I have other things. And it's funny. Do you want me to tell you what I have bookmarked? I was reading this the other day. When nothing's happening. Sounds very Saturn. Perhaps at the end of this week, some of you might say, well, I'm using the tools and hearing amazing stories, but nothing is happening for me. What am I doing wrong? How many times do I hear that from all of us? Well, what am I doing wrong? Nothing, she says, and I agree, nothing. Just relax and continue the steps. Dig deeper. And that is really the key. We're not doing anything wrong. Timing, it's not our timing anyway. At least that's what I've learned over my lifetime. But we can dig deeper and we can ask more questions of ourselves and we can learn more. So anyway, no, I don't know that she has, again, you've heard this a million times. If nothing's happening, clean your closet. Have you heard this? If nothing's happening, clean your closet. Well, you know what I'm going to do? Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to get to it or not, but this is my plan before tomorrow, or maybe during tomorrow. Okay, you can only see that shelf, but there's like this whole other shelf on the other side, and it's crammed with decks, big surprise, right? And so I want to clean it and make it more organized and check out what's in there. Do I really need all of that in there? I think some of them are empty boxes. So this is a really cool metaphor. If I am filling my space with empty boxes, there's no room for what wants to come. If I am holding on to something, there is no room for what's to come. Okay, so that's my goal over there. I'm going to go through and what can I do with the empty boxes? Now, this is a very Taurian thing. I can either hold on to them because I might need those empty boxes someday of all those cards. I might regret not having them someday, or I can just let them go. Okay, yeah. So what do I do with the empty boxes? Now I might put them in a big box but then I have to really ask myself, how many times do I want to move empty boxes? Now, generally speaking, I could put all the cards in their boxes, like other people do that. I've seen some beautiful organization where everyone actually has their cards in boxes, but I use my cards all the time. And while I have some of them in the box, I don't have all of them in the box because I want to be able to flip through them. I walk by there how many times a day and I'm like, oh, let's pull a card. So it doesn't work for me to have them in the boxes. All right, probably TMI, but okay. Now for you all, the last thing I want to talk about is the Sabian symbol. This is is about the degree where the new moon is. So it's at 1802. And actually, I wrote it wrong in the booklets. We want to look at 19. So anybody that has a booklet out there from the new moon retreat over the weekend, it's wrong. But this idea, I would like to read this to you. There's these esoteric symbols for each degree. This symbol means a new continent is rising out of the ocean. This is the rising of a new place, a place to be, a new country, a somewhere to strive for a new life. Interesting that this was our first card. It implies that you can find that extra spark to create a brand new original opportunity. This is the beginning of something that holds enormous potential for the future. There is much work to be done developing this into something fertile and productive. That's very Saturn with the new moon. A whole new field of activity is coming to light. What you have done in the past has led you to this, but these new beginnings need to be met with a fresh sense of purpose and possibility. So there's enormous potentiality emerging. Okay. So the shadow side, we always want to go to the shadow side, is to be constantly looking for the new without completing the old. Saturn doesn't let us do that with this new moon. Saturn says we need to finish things up, we need to complete, we need to gather our wisdom, and then we can go forward. But I love the degree of the new moon. The Sabian symbols, this is from Linda Hill, what I just read. The person that is considered, I don't know if I have the book. Yes, Dane Rudyard, the astrological mandala. He is considered the person that everyone looks to for the Sabian symbols. Another option is Elias Lonsdale with the Chandra symbols, if anybody wants to go deeper. These are all places where we look to esoteric significance of where the new moon is taking place. I feel like tomorrow's new moon does hold a lot of potentiality. You know, still Uranus, Jupiter, still in the mix. The openings, the endings, got to have the endings first before the openings. And sometimes they're simultaneous, you know, I mean, that does happen. And how do we want to celebrate that? Again, there's, you know, you'll notice we don't always go into so much detail, but I figure on the heels of everything we've been through, this is a good thing to do. We really want to take an accounting of how we are right now and what is it that we want to receive, what we want to share, how we want to move forward. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else. I had a couple other thoughts. So without further ado, let me look. Okay, this is a fun thing because you know it's a little heavy, right? Here's a fun thing. Think about one thing you can do this week to honor your love of love, your love of art, your love of nature, your love of beauty, or your love of music. Okay. That would be fabulous. That would be fabulous. Okay. All right. I have all kinds of things planned for this week. And before we close, I just want to say thank you again for being with me. For those of you that were with me last week for the raffle, it inspired me. I'm going to do quite a few more raffles. So just be ready. The raffles will be on their way. I was thinking that when Jupiter moves into Gemini, that'll be around May 25th. The shifting of Jupiter, which is I could raffle into boxes. Oh, that's good. You get extra bonus points for that. I might just do that. No, I wouldn't do that, but it's a great idea. I like it. As Jupiter, you know, planet of opportunity, generosity, wealth, as it moves into a new sign, that feels like we should have a little party for that. I know probably some of us here, like my almost birthday twin, we liked having Jupiter in Taurus because we have Jupiter in Taurus, and hey, how fun is that? Kind of sad to see it go. It'll be back in 12 years, but I know. But let's celebrate Jupiter and Gemini equally, right? Let's really be fair. Give the Geminis a chance to enjoy it. And remember that also Jupiter amplifies. So if anything has been out of whack or out of alignment, it may have been amplified. And, you know, I always take these ideas from my own life. If something has surfaced that's super uncomfortable and it's amplified, I have to look at it. Like I don't get to ignore it anymore, right? And then I have the opportunity, that's the other side of Jupiter, to do the deeper work or do the healing work that will be supportive. So lots to consider from your 8th house Taurus person who never makes it simple enough. But there's plenty to look forward to. There is a lot of love. There is a lot of generosity with this new moon. And there is an understanding of how we can receive all the resources that we need and more. Okay. All right. I'm going to turn off the recording and then I will say hello to all of you here, except let me turn that